Hello, friends. Welcome to the session. In this in this session, we'll be discussing about supervised machine learning. Friends, as you know that in artificial intelligence, we do write the algorithm. We do supply the data to the computer machine so that the machine can learn from the data. The machine can understand patterns of the data. And once it is being done, then the machine can automatically function without being explicitly writing program for any specific job. So machine will have the intelligence, and this intelligence is being called as an artificial intelligence. So machine will behave like a human to some extent. So the question is how it is possible to achieve machine learning. There are different methods, there are different techniques with the help of which we can achieve machine learning. As far as this session is concerned, we'll be discussing about one very important technique in machine learning, and it is being called as a supervised machine learning. So friends, we as a human being learn from our childhood. And initially, we are not knowing anything. So we ask somebody, what is this? What is that? And then accordingly, somebody answer our questions and we remember the things. And this is the way we go on learning. So human learns from the experiences. While in case of artificial intelligence, the machine learns from the data. So in this session, we will understand what is supervised machine learning and how it can be achieved. Friends, as you know that you are viewing this session on my YouTube channel, and do subscribe to the channel so that you can watch many other educational videos on the various topics of electronics and computer science. So let us start the session with the question, what we mean by a supervised machine learning. Friends, you will find that there are different types of machine learning. Say, for example, we can have one type being called as a supervised machine learning. We can have another type that is being called as a unsupervised machine learning. And we have another type of the machine learning called as a reinforcement learning. So in the supervised machine learning, as shown in this diagram, the data that is being given to the machine is a labeled data, and we have a direct feedback. And with the help of this machine learning, we can predict the outcome, or we can predict the future of any event based on the past data. Since the data is being labeled data, this machine learning is being called as a supervised machine learning, because here already we are making the use of the labeled data. In unsupervised machine learning, the data that is being used is not labeled data, and therefore there is no feedback. And in this case, we try to find out the hidden structure among the data elements. And this machine learning, since there is no labeled data, it is being called as unsupervised machine learning. But you will find that there is another type of the machine learning called as a reinforcement learning. So you can say that it is a kind of the decision process, it is a kind of a reward system. Say, for example, you are attempting to solve some MCQ. So while giving you whether your answer is correct or not is not sufficient. So you need to tell which one is correct and why it is being correct. So if you do something like this, then that is what we call as a reinforcement learning. So it is a kind of a reward system, and where one can learn from the series of actions. So as far as this session is concerned, we'll be discussing about our first machine learning and very popular machine learning called as a supervised machine learning. So in the supervised machine learning, we need to write an algorithm. We need to select an algorithm, and that algorithm is being trained on a data, and this data is being called as a labeled data. So labeled data means what? Say, for example, if there are 10 people and there are 10 faces, then we will tell the computer that the first face belongs to the person 1, the second face belongs to the person 2. So in this way, when we go on telling the computer, then that is being called as a label data. So the training data set will include the input and output pair. And the model learns to predict the output based on the input. So whenever we give a appropriate training of 10 faces to the machine, and then if any new face comes in, then it can identify the face. So for example, as I said, in the face recognition system, one can recognize the input face if the given face is being available in the face database. Of course, the condition is that the face must be available in the given face database. Now, the goal of the supervised learning is to learn a mapping function. It is basically to learn a mapping function where we can map from the input variables to the output variables, so that the model can make the predictions on the unseen data. So when we give the appropriate training to the model, then the model can predict what can be the input. So examples of supervised learning algorithm, there are various algorithms available for the supervised learning, and they are linear regression, logistic regression. So regression techniques can be called as a supervised learning algorithms. There are decision trees, there are support vector machines, and of course, there are neural networks. So all of them can be used as an algorithm for the supervised learning. So for example, here we have a figure where we have shown the images of cows, images of cats, and images of dogs. And then these images are being used for training. So the cow is there. So we can say that the cow, how can one identify the cow? How one can identify the cat, and how one can identify the dog. And now whenever there is some new image being given, then based on the pattern of the image, it can be classified as a cow, cat, or dog. So in this case, the image will be classified as a dog. Let us have another example which will help us to understand the supervised machine learning. Suppose we have been given some handwritten digits, and now we want to identify these digits. So the system is being trained on the thousands of images of handwritten digits from 0 to 9, and each is being labeled with the correct answer. So such type of the images are there handwritten. Every human being write in its own way the digit, and therefore there is a difference between the images of the handwritten digits. Now the thousands of images are collected and they are trained. The model is being trained. Now the features are extracted. The model will analyze the pixel values. It will determine the ages. It will determine the pattern. So the original image is being converted into a normalized image, and then the features are extracted, of which the vector is being formed. And now once the features are extracted, then the algorithms such as neural network or support vector machine, which is a learning algorithm, which is being trained on the associate image features with the digit labels. And once the training is being given, then one can easily identify what can be the input image. So in this case, the image is being a digit 3. So when a given new handwritten digit is being there, then the model will predict the number. So it is necessary that once the model is prepared, then there should be some accuracy improvement. So with more training data and optimization, the model will start working better and better, and it will determine the digits more accurately. So thank you, friends, for viewing the session. Hopefully you have understood what we mean by the supervised machine learning. Thank you all.